Chairman Carr, you are recognized for 5 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you. Chairman Hudson, Ranking Member Matsui, distinguished members of the subcommittee, thank you for the invitation to testify. While this is not my first time appearing before the subcommittee, it's my first time doing so as chairman. Like my colleagues, I have fond memories of this room. I started as an intern here over 20 years ago now. I also want to start by saying how proud I am of the FCC's dedicated staff and everything they accomplished for the American people last year. The FCC delivered an historic set of wins in 2025 thanks to them. I also want to applaud the important work that the subcommittee has accomplished this Congress. For instance, thanks to Chairman Hudson, Chairman Guthrie, and many of their fellow members, the FCC's Spectrum Auction Authority has now been restored through President Trump's Working Families Tax Cut Act, a major legislative accomplishment. In terms of the FCC's work, the agency has been following President Trump's strong leadership and moved quickly to execute on an ambitious set of reforms. We're advancing a Build America agenda, a concrete plan to unleash high-speed infrastructure builds in communities across the country. We're reinvigorating the agency's consumer protection work, including cracking down on illegal robocalls. We're empowering broadcasters to meet their public interest obligations. We're strengthening America's national security, and we're eliminating waste while modernizing agency operations. Much of this represents a significant change from the Biden administration policies. Indeed, when I took over as chairman of the FCC a year ago, the FCC faced several serious challenges. For instance, the Biden administration had allowed the U.S. to fall behind when it comes to one of the most important features of our economic strength, national security, and connectivity goals: spectrum. The FCC Spectrum Auction Authority had lapsed 2 years earlier. The Biden administration had failed to tee up a single new spectrum band for auction. And President Biden's national spectrum strategy committed to freeing up exactly 0 megahertz of spectrum. On top of that, permitting reform was going nowhere. The Biden administration was layering on heavy-handed regulations that only made it harder for broadband builders to start turning dirt. To make matters worse, the Biden administration was pushing policies that would make services more expensive for Americans. We had to turn things around and fast. Thanks to President Trump's leadership, we're doing exactly that. As I detail in my written testimony, the FCC's Build agenda focuses on unleashing the nation's broadband builders. It does so by advancing several core goals. For one, we're modernizing permitting rules and cutting red tape. For another, we're freeing up the airwaves that are necessary for America to lead the world again. We now have a massive new spectrum pipeline and are working on multiple new spectrum auctions. In fact, the FCC just voted at the end of last year on a plan to auction up to 180 megahertz of spectrum in the upper C-band. In the secondary markets, we're now seeing large chunks of spectrum move into the hands of competitors that can put it to productive use quickly. Indeed, one carrier alone announced that they built out spectrum they gained access to late last year to over 23,000 cell sites in record time, boosting 5G speeds by up to 80%. In all of this, President Trump and the FCC are looking out for America's blue-collar workers. In this job, I've had the chance to climb towers, splice fiber, and string lines with some of the country's most talented and hardworking telecom workers, and also some members of this committee as well. So it's important to me that the FCC do its part to strengthen the nation's telecom workforce. We're already seeing changes. Providers are now adopting faster payment cycles. They're closing loopholes that allowed foreign fly-by-night groups to swoop in and undercut U.S. workers, and they're improving safety. Finally, the FCC is now pushing the largest deregulatory effort in the agency's history. To date, we've teed up for removal over 1,000 rules. In all of this, we're seeing good results, including on affordability, where data just out shows that prices for wireless plans are now down over 4% since last January. I look forward to continuing to work with all of my commission colleagues and the agency staff to deliver on this important agenda. And in closing, I want to thank you again for the opportunity to testify. I look forward to your questions.